Frank should have played Watermelon in East Ray on the ukulele. That's all I'm saying. Hello, people. Thanks for watching. My name is Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie, currently running Zappa March Madness, the albums version. This is the voting video. You can vote after this or shortly. This is part 4 of the round of 32. Broke the round of 32 into four separate brackets, seeded them 1 through 8. This is the bracket with the #1 overall seed, Hot Rats. But before I get to that, these, bam, are the results for part 2. So yes, there were no upsets. Burnt Weenie Sandwich handled orchestral favorites easily. We're in it for the money, handled Hammersmith Odeon easily. Overnight Sensation easily handled Shut Up and Play Your Guitar, which personally surprised me, as I would have voted for Shut Up every day and any day. And Apostrophe, by 1 vote, beat out Shake Your Booty. Apostrophe had an early lead, and Shake Your Booty looked like it was going to come back and maybe pass it, but it did not. And why some people are only voting for 1 or 2 or 3, but not all 4, I don't know, but either way, it's a vote and it counts. So anyways, the top seeds will all go on to the round of 16. But now we're on to this one. And the bracket for this one is bam right here. We have #1 Hot Rats versus an album that got 1 vote. It only got 1 vote, that album Hot Rats is against, but I decided to throw it in here to see if it would get more votes, like 1 vote to be in the tournament. What happened was we had 26 that got 2 or more votes. I decided what the remaining 6 were based on my ranking. So 5 of the remaining 6 were the top 5 albums I had that only had 1 vote. This is my least favorite album, the #8 seed in this bracket, but it got 1 vote. So I'm putting it in here, and I'm going to defend it, and I'm going to tell you why you should vote for it. We have #2, Lather versus #7, 200 Motels. #3, Weasels, Ripped My Flesh versus #6, Civilization Phase 3. And #4, Absolutely Free versus #5, Make a Jazz Noise Here. I will tell you why each one deserves your vote. But if you don't care what I have to think, you can vote right now in the comments below. Just tell me which ones you vote for. Or tell me which... So some of you are like giving me reasons, which I really, really appreciate. I also like these sort of, this is the song I feel bad not voting for. So continue doing that, because that is one of my favorite things so far in the comments. But anyways, yeah, so on to this first bout. No, we're going to save #1 for last. So we're going to go backwards on this one. So first, #4 versus #5. #4, Absolutely Free versus #5, Make a Jazz Noise Here. Make a Jazz Noise Here is easily the best document of the '88 band. It is primarily an instrumental. There are, songs with words, but a lot of it is instrumental. There are some amazing monster song performances on here. Big Swifty, King Kong, When Yuppies Go to Hell, which is kind of a Desiccated, a song that premiered on 88 with a lot of Pound for a Brown solos in it. Dupree's Paradise, amazing solo, and Dupree's Paradise horn solo. You have the Black Page New Age version. You have just brilliance on both sides. Like, this is by far a better 88 representation than Broadway the Hard Way, which was a lot of new songs, and The Best Band You Never Heard in Your Life, which is a great album, but tends to be just a little more of a sampler of everything Frank did, a lot of cover songs, a lot of one-off type things. But Make a Jazz Noise Here is just almost a perfect album. It was in my top 10 of those albums released in Zappa's during his lifetime. That is how strong of a release this is. And it is going against Absolutely Free, which was also in my top 10 of all-time Frank albums. But I don't think I ranked it as high as Make a Jazz Noise Here. But I think you should vote for it, because it's like, there's no sophomore slump. If anything, he's like doubled down on the weirdness. He's doubled down on just the commentary. Plastic People opens, and then you get the beautiful Duke of Prunes. You get this crazy jam in the Colony Vegetable Suite. You really don't get your first sort of easy, digestible pop song until the second side, when you get Status Back Baby, which is just arrives and is perfect. And then you close it out with Brown Shoes Don't Make It and America Drinks and Goes Home. I mean, what a perfect sophomore effort. If this had been his debut album, it would still be heralded as genius. I think it was just not as acclaimed as Freak Out because it was the second one. We already knew Frank was a genius, and then We're Only in It for the Money is such a hit it out of the ballpark album that this one kind of just falls in the cracks, but it shouldn't. It is amazing and it deserves your vote. So yeah, vote for one of these two in the comments below. Number 3, Weasels Ripped My Flesh versus number 6, Civilization Phase 3. By far the best synclavier album Frank ever did, Civilization Phase 3. It is Phase 3 because it is sort of a continuation of the Lumpy Gravy, People in the Piano dialogue. There is original People in the Piano dialogue on here, plus there are new people from the 90s or maybe the late 80s in the piano. Some of that works. If there is a reason to vote for Weasels over Civ 3 is that some of that new stuff doesn't work so well. They like there's like contemporary names are mentioned and it kind of takes you out of the piano. Like, how do they know these contemporary people if they're living in a piano? But apart from that, it is ridiculous. I mean, if you don't like this synclavier, give this a chance and you will probably be converted. It has a couple epic pieces, Enlight in particular. It's got a lot of really short little pieces that are better. Beat the Reaper in particular, I think, stands out for me. Amnerica is a good piece. But the whole thing is just like you get like these interesting little bits and pieces of conversation. You get these synclavier pieces. You get some, it's a puzzle that you need to sort of listen to over and over again to see like what exactly is going on. And the music complements what's being said so perfectly. And it's like one of those things that you can like listen to for decades, as I've done at this point in time, and you still really don't get everything that I think it offers. Like, there is so much to unpack on this listen that, yeah, it's worthy of like going on to the next round to encourage more people to unpack it. But it's going against Weasels Rip My Flesh, which is like perfect, chaotic, early Mothers, original Mothers, just noise. There's like chaos contrasted perfectly with like some of the most beautiful melodies Frank would ever write, with like My Guitar Wants to Kill Your Mama, with like the prelude to the Afternoon of a Sexually Aroused Gas Mask. I mean, is that title alone not enough to make you like want to vote for this album? Eric Dolphy Memorial Barbecue. I mean, just so much like you never really know what's going to come next, which is like what it was like in the original Live Mothers, and the Weasels captures that energy and that spirit better than any other album, I think, that Frank has released so far. Maybe Uncle Me captures it better, but this is pretty a second place. But yeah, they're both excellent, but who do you vote for? That's the whole point. Number 2, Leather versus number 7, 200 Motels. I mean, 200 Motels, a surreal documentary about life on the road. There is so much going on in here. There are so many threads to like follow and figure out where they unravel and all that kind of stuff. And the music is great. There's like some of the best rock music Frank ever wrote for Flo and Eddie is on this album. Some of his best classical music is on this album. The way he balances the classical with the rock and the rock with the classical, and like just the sort of like the jokes that are in there and the humor, and then the ending, the Strictly Genteel into the 200 Motels finale is just one of the best endings Frank has for any album. That alone, like you go through this entire like double album journey and then you get to that point, it's just like, oh yeah, it's like a cherry on top of a very delicious ice cream groupie sundae. Kind of sounds nasty. But anyways, that's going against Leather, which I ranked as Frank's all-time greatest release after he passed away. It has everything you want out of Frank. Classical music, guitar solos, comedy pieces, little like weird segues between songs with noises. It's got live stuff, and it's got The Adventures of Gregory Peccary, that entire 20-plus minute piece. I mean, that alone is enough to earn your vote. But then the other one has Strictly Genteel, and they're both absolutely amazing. So yeah, what do you vote for? Leather or 200 Motels? This is a tough one, people, but not really. I mean, it shouldn't be. But on to the final bout of the round of 32. Number 1, Hot Rats versus number 8, that album. I'm not even going to say that album, because even though I personally don't like that album, it might be the greatest album Frank ever made. It's got a bunch of songs you already know with like new lyrics and a whole new twist. It's got a bunch of songs you don't already know, which are amazing. Clowns on Velvet, the whole Evil Prince thing in the middle of Torture Never Stops. Brown Moses is fantastic. There's some Synclavier work on here, which is some of the best Synclavier work he's ever done. To hear these songs that you're familiar with from like You Are What You Is, given a new twist is good. You have Bozio, both Bozios, Terry and Dale, doing the best acting of their career. You have Ike. You have just, there is so much going on. You could listen to Thingfish every day for the rest of your life and probably not figure out all that is happening on here. That is how rich and how deep and how ultimately rewarding this. It's a challenging album, but shouldn't we reward albums that are challenging by voting for them? And it's going against Hot Rats. Yeah, Hot Rats. 6 songs. It's only got 6 songs. The other album has like it's a double album. It's a triple album if I'm not mistaken. But like Peaches and Regalia, that's my all-time favorite Frank song, is on Hot Rats. That's a reason to vote for it. Captain Beefheart, Willie the Pimp is on here. That's another reason to vote for it. The Gumbo Variations, which is just this incredibly, one of the best Ian Underwood sax solos ever, is on here. Just phenomenal. You got also these, you got Son of Mr. Green Jeans, that whole incredible jam. You got Little Umbrellas, It Must Be a Camel. You got 6 perfect pieces of music. And one of the best covers Frank ever did. I mean, what else screams Hot Rats than that cover? What else screams Frank Zappa than that cover? Like, we're not voting for covers, but maybe the cover should be considered in this case, because otherwise, how is Hot Rats going to beat that thing? I don't know. You tell me. Vote in the comments. That is it for the round of 32. Once again, here are the bouts. Pick one in each of the pairings. Tell me who you want to win. And then that's it. Yeah, the voting will go until Friday night at 6 Texas Central Standard Time. So get your votes in by then, and either Friday night or Saturday morning, I will have all of the results for the round of 32, and then we will start the round of 16. So anyways, thank you for voting. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. And if you're just now watching this is the first video you saw, go ahead and vote. You don't have to have participated in any of the other ones. Start now and cast your vote. Cast your dance or spell our way, please. Anyways, thanks for watching. Subscribe and all that stuff so you get notifications as to when to vote, and talk to you later.